Thanks for joining me for today's short scale study. Today, we're going to build our tone and technique in the key of concert F major. So, before we begin, let's talk about the names of the notes and some of the fingerings that we're going to need for concert F major on our clarinet. That's because the clarinet plays the G scale in concert F major. So we're going to start with the note G. Now, in today's advanced scale studies, I'll be dealing with the top notes of each of the exercises. So I'll be working us into the higher register. So we're going to start with the note G, and then the note A. Next, I'll be using my two pinkies to activate, as well as my register key in the back, to activate the B fingering. Then I'll lift my left pinky, that gives me C. I'll lift my right pinky, that gives me D. I'll lift the next finger on my right hand, which gives me the E fingering. For the next note, I need an F sharp. So I'll just use my second finger for F sharp. And then the highest note, high G, that's 3 fingers on top, no fingers on the bottom. I still need that register key in the back to give me the higher register. So there we go. Let's do number 1, quarter notes, the major scale and arpeggio quarter notes. My metronome is set at 70 beats per minute. Let's begin. 1, 2, ready. How did you do? I hope you had success with the B natural. I hope you had success with the F sharp and the high G as well. Let's move on and play the same scale, but now we'll play it in the 8th note pattern. 1, 2, and ready and go. Good. Remember that at any time you can pause or rewind and go back and play those exercises again. You can even pause, change the speed of your metronome to something else. Maybe you would like to do it at 60 beats per minute, a little slower, or a little faster at 80 or 90 beats per minute. Pick a speed that is something that you can be successful at and work at that, and then work to increase the speed gradually over time. Let's play our major chords study. I'll play the bottom notes of the study, and remember that you'll need an F sharp. 1, 2, ready, and. Excellent. Now we'll move on and play the pattern of thirds exercise. Again, I'll be playing the top notes, and those notes will require me to play my B natural with 2 pinkies and my C natural with my right hand pinky. Remember, you'll need your register key in the back to activate that higher register. Here we go. Pattern of thirds. 1 and 2 and ready and go. Next, we're going to move on to the chromatic pivot scale. Our pivot note in this exercise is the note D. After we use the note D, our next note in that order is C sharp. Remember, C sharp is used by using both of our pinkies on these keys. Remember that if you need a fingering guide, there's one at the end of this method. And you can check that guide regularly to help you, fingerings help you find your fingerings. Okay, after that C sharp, we'll go back to D, and then we'll need C natural. and then back to D, and then B natural with our two pinkies, and then D. After the rest, we'll use D and B flat, D and A, D and G sharp, and finally D and G. Let's do it. 1, 2, ready, and. Now let's do our chromatic scale. Our chromatic scale will use a lot of the fingerings from the fingering guide in the back. Many of these notes you're probably already familiar with. Let me just point out a few that might cause you some concern. In the fourth note of that chromatic scale is the A sharp. Remember, that's the fingering for B flat. The seventh note is the C sharp. Remember, we'll need two pinkies to activate that key, and right here is the left pinky that you're going to need for the C sharp key. The ninth note is a D sharp. To play a high D sharp, you'll need your thumb and register key, 3 fingers on top, 3 fingers on bottom, and your pinky will now activate the key that's closest to your third finger right here. Okay? On the way down, the second quarter note is a G flat. That's nothing more than an F sharp. Okay? The fifth quarter note on the way down is E flat. The same fingering you used on the way up for D sharp right here. Then D flat, 2 notes later, is the C sharp fingering. And then rest of the way down the chromatic scale. I think you're familiar with those. If not, use the guide in the back of the book. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, and. Let's finish with the chorale study. Again, I'll play the bottom notes. You can play the top notes. Remember, you're going to need B naturals along the way. 1, 2, ready, and. So I hope that was helpful, and I hope you'll consider playing this advanced scale study again soon. Also consider moving on to some of our other advanced scale studies. See you soon. Keep practicing.